Many people around the world right now are doing their part in employing safe social distancing and staying at home whenever possible. However, just because you are practicing social distancing doesn't mean that you can't also practice some new skills in your downtime and become a little more accomplished. So here are 5 skills that you could and should learn during lockdown. The ability to open a bottle with anything you find around you is a hyper useful skill. I always forget my bottle opener when I go camping, and I got really good at opening bottles with pretty much anything. I mean, a spoon is really easy. It comes off straight away. But I even learned how to use a pen, like a Sharpie or something like that. Let's see if I can get this off. Really easy. And I've never tried this, but perhaps a padlock. Let's see. Yeah, easy as that. Eventually I got so good at this skill that I was able to open a bottle with nothing more than a single piece of A4 paper. It's really easy to learn. Let me show you how it's done. I've showed this skill on the channel before, and it really is just as simple as folding the paper up to make it a little bit more structurally sound, and then using it as a lever as you would any other tool. So I like to make it quite long, like this, and then fold it. So it's about 1 inch wide, like that. And then try and fold it in on itself one more time. But really, it doesn't really matter how you fold it. Something like that. And then fold this in half. And basically you can just use this as your lever. So if you grab the bottle like this and stick this between the knuckle and the bottle cap, it should just come off, like that. Easy as that. This takes about 2 minutes to learn, and people are always really impressed with this skill. So there you go. Next. Track stands are, in my opinion, an indispensable skill for any cyclist. It's essentially the ability to come to a dead stop without putting your feet on the ground. Very useful for red lights or junctions. Whoa. Track stands are really important in traffic or in urban areas, especially if you are using clippy pedals, as you can stay clipped in and get moving again much quicker than if you put your feet down. They hugely improve your balance and confidence on the bike at very low speeds, and are even useful in mountain biking on very technical sections where you're almost at a complete stop. Track stands are really easy to learn. To make it easier, use the front brake and apply a little pressure on the pedals whilst turning the bars to one side. Then use your knees to balance from here. Even 5 seconds is enough to check traffic at junctions or determine your line on the trail. Useful and simple. Okay, here is a boring one, but one that will change your life. Microsoft Excel. Nerd! I hear you say, but you know what nerds get? Promotions. During my time at university, working as an engineer and as a tutor, I constantly watched people make their life miserable by refusing to learn a little bit of Microsoft Excel. A tiny bit of Excel knowledge and people in your office think you're a freaking wizard. Excel doesn't have to just be numbers either. Matt Parker made each cell in a spreadsheet a pixel and created an image. And Dylan Tallchief made a fully functioning drum machine in Excel. You can automate your work, stop punching in numbers to a calculator, and get organized. And all you need, I think, is about 2 hours of learning, and there are thousands of good tutorials online. At least learn how to use formulas. They're very simple to learn. it'll make your life a lot easier. And if you can, try and learn a little bit of macros. That's coding in Excel to control what's going on behind the scenes. If there's one thing to try and learn in self-quarantine, make it Excel. Trust me, it will improve your life. Right, let's move on to something a bit more useless. Did you know that you can make a very convincing engine sound with just a can? Kim absolutely hates when I do this because it really is really loud, but some people like it. This is without a doubt the most irritating skill that I know how to do, but it does tend to make people smile, and right now I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. And what you do is you bend the can about near the top like this, and you want to flatten it out but maintain the circular portion on the bottom here. So this is the shape that you want to make, this kind of bent shape. What you want to do is produce a sound that makes the part where these two pieces of aluminium meet, this section here. You want to make them bounce off each other, vibrate off each other, and that's what creates that sort of metallic engine noise. So the sound you want to make is kind of like a Chewbacca sound, like just put your mouth on the can, make that note, and kind of bend the can back and forward until the aluminium starts bouncing off each other. You'll hear it really clearly. Oh, this was tuned pretty good straight away. And once you get good, you can go up and down like a real engine. This next part was shot outside. We filmed this before the UK government announced a mandatory lockdown, and since then things have got a little more serious. So whilst I would encourage you to learn this next skill, I would ask if you could please hold off on leaving the house unless it is absolutely necessary until your local authorities give you the green light to do so. I hope you understand. I just thought I'd add this in. Here is a really useful skill to learn. I learned this when I was 18 years old. I had a really crappy car at the time and it would not start first time. And that was because it had a crappy battery. So I learned how to bump start the car on my own, as in without the help of anyone else. And that's basically how I started my car for like 6 months before I got a new one. So this only works if you've got a manual car. That's one that has like a stick shift. So sorry, all of America. So here's how to do this, right? First of all, put the ignition on, handbrake off, gear stick in neutral, and you're going to want to push the car and then put it into second gear, clutch down, and then abruptly lift the clutch up, and the car should just start if I've done this right. So let's see how this goes, okay? So I'm going to push the car, and I'm going to try and get up to about 5 miles an hour. Come on! So once it's at 5 miles an hour, I'm just going to jump in, put the car in second gear, and start. And it starts. And it is a really useful skill if you have a manual car and you have a crappy battery. So ignition on, neutral, 5 miles an hour by pushing, and then second gear and bring the clutch up abruptly. And that's how you do it. So there we have it, 5 skills that you should learn during lockdown, some fun and useless, and some with utility. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel, and if you do choose to learn some of the skills in this video, then please tweet me or tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see what you're up to. In the meantime, stay safe. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.